class. So today we are going to work together to brainstorm some ideas, some situations where we think it might be morally permissible or acceptable to for one person to touch another person. Um, for example, in American culture, usually when we meet someone new, we greet them with a handshake, like so. See? Or sometimes a stranger might tap someone on the shoulder very lightly to get their attention. Those are examples of touch that are appropriate in American culture. So, what I want you guys to do today is we're going to have you guys get into partners and talk about in your own cultures what sort of touch might be permissible or acceptable or appropriate in your own cultures. Um, and I have some words for you that might make this a little bit easier. So we have caress. And these are all in your textbooks also, but I'll put them up here in case you want to reference this also. Hug, poke, kiss, pat, slap, smack, nudge, and tickle. Does anyone have any questions on any of these words? What do we think nudge might mean? Do you know what a nudge is? Autumn, might know what a nudge is?
Like this?
Yeah, maybe like running into someone or rubbing against someone. What about caress? Caress is kind of a different word. What does caress mean? Caress is sort of like to hold or to embrace someone, right? So now I would like you guys to get into partners. Maybe have the lower level students work with the higher level students. And just go ahead and write down some of the times when touch is appropriate in your cultures. And remember, it's just brainstorming, so you really just need to jot down a few notes. And once you're done, we'll come back and share it with the class. Okay, so do we think we might have some? We can share a few maybe up on the board. So while you're doing this exercise, you may have noticed differences or similarities in your cultures and their views on touch. Does anyone want to share some of those situations and why it's okay to touch another person in them? Do you have anything?
I have clasp.
Okay, and in your culture, when is it okay to clasp someone?
When you like clasp hands.
Right.
Clasp.
Well, how about this? Remember, in our culture, we said things like friends are allowed to hug each other. And what about in your culture? Do friends hug? Do you hug your boss?
No.
No, that's not appropriate.
No.
No. So no hugging your boss at work. What are some other things you can or cannot do in your culture? Remember using some of those words that we had. And I can remind you of some of those words that we had right over here.
We don't tickle.
You don't tickle. Even family members?
No.
No tickling. That's interesting. Good. Well, those are just some examples, and those are some great examples from your culture. The reason we're doing this is because since you are all living in the United States now, we have to think about some of those different ways of touch that we might have here that might be different from your own culture. And we might have to remember that there may be different times when it is okay to touch or not touch a person than in your own culture at home. So now we are going to go ahead and we are going to open up our reading. And now that we've thought about our own culture, we are going to read about some of the meanings or the signals a person can send off from just a single touch.